Who's better, Aaron from Action RPG or his wife? Speak up so he hears it. It's me. I mean, of the two, only one of them's ever bought me tea and moleskin for my feet, and you know, I think the answer's pretty clear here. I'm sorry, Aaron, but your wife wins. Oh, is that? I just understood the question. Hi.
Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG. I'm your host Aaron, and for today's video we're headed to the world of Last Epoch once again. Mike, one of the senior developers at 11th Hour Games, held his normal Friday Q&A live stream on Twitch, which means I get to bring you Dev Chat 124. Like always, Mike answered lots of great questions from the community, but this stream felt very, very different. Very different. Now, I've been covering Last Epoch since there was 12 of us, 18 of us. Holy crap, we peaked at 90 people playing the game. And the fact that the chat had so many questions, so many subs and donations, so much interaction, honestly, so many thank yous, just it blew me away watching this stream. And you could feel it, like, you know, Mike's like, man, like, chat's going crazy. How many people are watching? There's 1,500 people watching. And he's like, oh, that makes sense. Normally we have 200, 300. If it's a great stream, 400. And, you know, they're 3-4xing those numbers because the hype is real. Enough people have now played Last Epoch that they're falling in love with it, just like I have. And it was honestly just a really great stream. So we're going to go through it right now. And we're going to start off with a question around cycles.
Do you feel the... Or it's that... If you die in hardcore cycle, I'm just going to edit the question here. Does your character become softcore cycle or just softcore? There is, I'm just going to answer this a slightly different way first and I'll answer the question. There is no way to move a character between cycle and legacy other than when a new cycle starts. So everyone rotates together. You can't individually rotate one character. Everyone goes together. So, no, you do not become softcore legacy. Yes, you do become softcore cycle.
Bingo. Now let's talk about a little balance around sigils for Paladin.
Sir, I need precision about the ways to trigger the Paladin Sigils of Hope. In one stream, you agreed it was a bit too much busy work right now, and that you were thinking about other ways to activate them more automatically. In another stream, you said it wasn't the case, so which is,
called out.
I mean, I don't know what I said exactly, but I would say that we are not making major changes to it in 1.0. I'll say that. There are ways we are looking at adjusting. I should say for those drops. That's something that I know is fixed. What they're talking about sigils automation. Yeah, there's sigils. Sigils is clunky. If I ever said it wasn't clunky, I'm sorry. Sigils are clunky. They need to have some adjustments for like just user experience adjustments in general. One of those ways that we're probably exploring is select automation and select triggering and select things like that. So I'd say there's a good chance that you'll see some of those updates in the future, but not for 1.0.
For any Paladin fans out there, really anyone that uses sigils, could you imagine sigil activation on melee hit? Moving on to snapshotting.
Any updates on snapshotting 1.0? The Falcon doesn't snapshot very well, like very much. There's sort of a experimental system with the Falcon that combats snapshotting on the Falcon. So the Falcon will be the Falcon snapshots for like a few seconds at most. I think it's like 30 seconds at most. But you won't know when it's fixing the snapshot because it happens super sneaky. There's a lot of things with the Falcon that are like these weird little tricks that you're like, well, that sounds like the dumbest thing in the world, but it just works, and it's the only way to make it work.
They are working on snapshotting, starting with the Falcon. Now we're going to move back to talking about cycles again. If you did not know this, Cycle 1 and Legacy, the games are identical, literally identical. Everything coming to Cycle 1 is also coming to Legacy. So the question really becomes, continue your progress or start over. Now, obviously, if you start over, you get a fresh ladder and you get a fresh economy. But to the person that has already worked so hard, to the person that maybe doesn't have the time to start over, they are identical games. Identical. Faction system, Warlock, everything coming, they're identical. So let's see. Are we ever going to get something cycle only?
Will cycles ever have their own mechanics like some of the other popular RPGs? This is something that we're still sort of working out how we're going to handle it exactly. The only thing I have a firm answer for you on this topic is that 1.0 will not. Like ever's a long time. I think that this is the sort of thing that's going to be pretty heavily debated amongst our community in a positive way.
Agreed.
And we're gonna be looking to that feedback to see what people want, what sorts of mechanics people enjoy, all those sorts of things. I think there's a decent chance that we'll start small, and we'll eventually like say, hey, okay, people really like to see something here. Maybe like I don't know, I'm literally making this up right now, but maybe we're like, oh hey, zombie belt. Maybe we say like here's a unique item or something like that. That's cycle only. Start small. We're still working out how we're gonna handle that exactly, and yeah, we're really focused on 1.0 right now. So 1.0 is no cycle specific mechanics. It's not off the table for the future, but we're not set in stone on exactly what we're gonna do yet.
That's the official answer. Something going away, get it now.
Something actually, the one thing that is going away, just because someone mentioned the packs, the one thing that's going away at launch, I get this question pretty frequently, is like, will the packs extend into launch? Are the prices changing, anything like that? The prices are not changing. The packs are staying the same. The only piece that's different is the Golden Guppy pre-order bonus mini pet will not be included after launch. It's a pre-order bonus. You only get it if you buy one of those packs or just the base game before 1.0. So you don't need to buy any of the special packs, any of the supporter packs on the Ultimate Editions or Deluxe Editions or anything like that. It's just the Golden Guppy pack that comes with, that everyone gets who's bought the game before launch. That's the one piece that is like that'll disappear.
If you are planning on getting Last Epoch and you think that there's going to be a sale, or you're waiting to get it until 1.0, you need to trust me on this one. You need to buy it and download it now, all right? You don't want to be fighting Steam and the servers trying to download the game with purchasing it, with doing all the updates, and you're going to miss your Golden Guppy. Get it now. Price is not changing. Nexus store in the description. This next question Mike literally gets every single week. It's around sets and set bonuses. It looks like sets are going to get a little bit of a buff this time around.
Are you guys taking a look at set bonuses that seem to lackluster in the best of cases? Yeah, sets have a storied history of being less awesome than they need to be in our game.
Yes.
We do have a plan to up their awesome factor. It will not be delivered in 1.0, unfortunately. There are some select changes we are making to certain set items to help them be more interesting in endgame situations. There's not huge overhauls happening. I would expect to see a more cohesive set glow up refresh as a whole thing in the future.
Any plans for PvP?
When PvP will be added, we don't have a set time for PvP to be added. It's one of those things where like one day it'd be sweet to add, but it's a ways down the road. I'd love to do PvP modes soon. I'd love to. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. I remember very early on in multiplayer testing, one of the first larger scale multiplayer tests we did as a team was the entire scene, the entire level was a large green plane. It probably had some grass texture on it or something, I don't know, but it was just a big green plane that was about the size of, it was big. Everyone had the ability Fireball. Everyone died in one hit. and you just respawn back in the bottom corner as soon as you died. And it was this like, and like we didn't have the concept of like good or bad or like ally or enemy, and so it's just like everyone can hit everyone, one hit kills, and it was meant to just be a like let's run around and have some fun and see how this works. Is there like lag? Is it bad? All that sort of stuff, and collect some data. And it quickly turned into this like pseudo like golden gun one-shot mode that was a ton of fun. So yeah, I'd love to see multiplayer. We don't have any set time on it or anything like that. It's not something we're actively into.
Not currently in development. Hopefully future plans. Now, my vision of PvP is going hostile outside of town. I like the idea of playing with a friend. You're pissing me off, and we fight each other, and I get your ear. I don't need this huge, crazy system. I don't even need to lose or take their gold or do anything. Just fun antics. This next one, people aren't going to like, and I think it's going to be news to a lot of you.
There's going to be a drop rate nerf. Yes, there will be a baseline drop rate nerf. This is not news. This, by the way,
it is
clear. So if you've been paying attention to the game, this is not another one on top of the one we announced months ago. Actually, over a year ago now, technically. As we add item factions to the game, they're going to very significantly augment the rate at which you find new items. New items for your build specifically, like so the rate that you're saying like here's an upgrade, here's an upgrade, here's an upgrade, that goes up pretty hard with item factions in general. And so in order to make that not go completely bonkers out of control, we are dropping the base item drop rate a little bit. It's not a huge change, but it's there, and you'll be with the item faction system. You'll be very quickly, like once you're into the item factions, just a few ranks, you'll be getting upgrades faster than you were before. Anyways, once you're deep into the item faction system, you'll be getting upgrades significantly faster than you were before. So like it's an overall net increase, but it is a base nerf.
There it is. I love the way Mike answers this question. He's very excited.
Any new uniques coming for other classes except Warlock and Falconer? Oh, yes. There are class agnostic uniques coming. There are class specific uniques coming. There are class themed but not specific uniques coming. There are, yeah.
Thank you, David Harbor. All right, everyone. Unfortunately, we have come to the final question for Dev Chat 124. Mike, as always, thank you for continuing these Friday live streams. The community truly appreciates it. I appreciate it, even though you picked my wife over me. I'm going to allow Mike to take out this stream talking about COF, and he did say he thinks COF is overhyped. Pretty interesting statement. 2 asks at the end of the video. Ask number 1, I'm hoping today is the day I have earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that little red button. I would really appreciate it, of course, only if you think I've earned it. And if I haven't earned it, I'm going to work harder for you. Ask number 2, check out my Patreon. Thank you to the first 107 members that have signed up. I get asked all the time, what's the best way to support? And Patreon is it, and you get the most benefits. We have a brand new Last Epoch Treasure Hunt community event kicking off on February 21st. Get into the Discord so you can join that. We also have our first subathon with me kicking off full-time as a content creator coming February 21st. It's going to be an uncapped subathon. We're going to have special guests and game keys and multiplayer groups and giving away copies of LE and merch and items. It's going to be a fun event February 21st. I'm done. Mike, take it away.
When you are a high level on COF and switch to MG, like you predict, will you have to take all of your gear off that you currently have equipped since it's tagged? Wouldn't that be a huge power drop? So one of the requirements of switching, either direction, MG or COF, like MG to COF or COF to MG, as soon as you switch factions or right before you switch factions, you have to unequip all your gear. Your character needs to be naked to switch. Like that's the first step. Take off all your gear. Second step, switch factions. and not necessarily all of it will be unusable. Items that were found while you are on COF that were not able, that were not found through the COF bonuses will not be actually tagged. They'll be untradeable, but they won't be COF tagged, so you can still wear them if you switch. So you won't be completely naked, but yeah, it'll be a big power drop. Yeah, and I'm not suggesting that like everyone's gonna get super high level COF and then switch. I think the switch is gonna happen sooner than people get to high level in COF. And not anything bad about COF. I think COF's just a little bit overhyped right now, and that's all it is. I think there's just like a disproportionate amount of I think people are underestimating how powerful trade can be sometimes, and I think that there's a non-insignificant subset of players that will pick which faction they want to be part of based strictly on which one's going to give them more items faster. And I think COF's going to be able to compete really well in that regard, and I think for most people it's going to be plenty fast enough by comparison. But the subset of players that is just there for the fastest way, I think MG's, I think it's going to be slightly better, is my prediction. And this is Mike's prediction. Mike could be very wrong. Mike thinks the COF is going to be slightly better, kind of just enough that it'll pull those players in that are that don't really care about thematically or mechanically which one's different in a specific way, but more just looking for power me up, let's go. Which I don't want to suggest is a bad thing in any way.